Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to Biblio Fitness and Merry Christmas Eve. This is being recorded on the 24th. So, before I go ahead and continue my reading of The Ego and Its Own, I wanted to go ahead and put expand upon a little bit further as to what's been elaborated in the opening of the book. So much to discuss. I can't recommend this shit enough. This is ridiculous. His initial his concentration on this realm of ideas, this perpetual dualism that we live in all the time, and the way that he's already criticizing it in such a stupendous manner, in my opinion. In the beginning, is just something to behold, really. How he dives into how we are all possessed individuals, and we all live in an insane asylum. We are all madmen and fanatics and people who live more focused on ghosts than in the real world. And that really has been the trajectory of civilization ever since the dichotomy was created, or the fantasy of the creation, or the focal the essence of good and all this shit. The essence of being a good human being was no longer in nature itself, within the realm of the real, but now in the realm of how the noumenon world, the realm of forms, what he calls the ghosts. This world and the world that we live in is a pale comparison, is a shadow, because we're always looking behind the meaning of things, behind the ideas. We're always focused on the ideas as such. We hate people, but we love the idea of man. What it is to be a man is to follow these certain principles and these certain absolute truths that we have, these truths whose untruths we try to get behind, and eventually we did. It's fucking crazy, bro. The criticism and the way that he puts it out is just makes sense to me. How we construct these images, and the way that we interact with other people, and the way that we look at history, and the way we do anything, is focused on these absolute truths, these ideas, these ghosts, these phantoms. How that has become the utter importance of it all. And even though we have become more secular and rid ourselves of these dogmas of Christianity, the dogmas of the absolute truths as such remain. You can get rid of God, but you cannot attack morality itself. The concept that the case to be made that we can all get behind these certain rules and regulations and laws in which we could subject ourselves to for this common good, that we don't get rid of. And one who questions the absolutes of or these ideas of morality and justice and love and good and evil, what they mean, and that is being immoral. Now you are going after that which is sacred, that which is alien, that which is beyond and above us, separate from us and beyond scrutiny. It's ridiculously it's true. That has been the trajectory of this whole humanism, for example. Everyone believing that we're all the same, for example, that a person who has no benefit to society has the same equal vote as an individual who has an industry that provides jobs and things like that. That they have the same vote, in the eyes of this man, this human project. We're all the fucking same. That's the truth that we try to get behind. And if you try to assault such a truth, you are considered immoral. You are considered evil. These ideas are beyond our reproach. It's crazy, and it's true how we really do live more in the realm of ideas. And we're always battling each other in a very hypocritical way of what these truths are. What is this truth? We're fighting over within the same rules, and that's something else that Stirner brings into light or into the conversation, is that people who are in the opposition still play within moral rules. You don't attack the definitions themselves. You're just fucking around with the little details, but in the end, you're all the same. You're all pious fools. You're all chasing the same thing. You're all delusional and sick in the head. That's something like, that's you basically using the language of Stirner, how we all really do live in a madhouse. We're all a pile of lunatics. The way he says it, that how we chase these phantoms that based on nothing. They mean nothing. They come from nothing. They come from our own impulses finding justification. We go through these layers, and as Nietzsche says, we create this labyrinth to really hide the truth as much as possible and complicate things to such a degree and create these giant monoliths to compensate for the hollowness of who we are. And that's something that Stirner brings up, how hollow we become. We become shells because we're terrified even of ourselves. We have a phantom and a ghost residing within us. The idea of man, or the idea of a pious person, the idea of a good Christian, what it means to be good, what it means to be just, what it means to be, whatever, moral or benevolence, or all these definitions. One must sacrifice individual freedom to follow morality. One must sacrifice liberty for morality and for love, for example. You have to sacrifice yourself and your ego for the sake of something else, something higher, even though this higher doesn't serve anything but itself. And that's something that's an observation made by Stirner at the very beginning of the book. Why shouldn't we live like these egoists that we serve? Eventually, God, for example, who's supposedly love and law and all these beautiful things, and we serve God for these things, but God doesn't serve anything else but for himself. He created this world and a bunch of creatures to serve him, to satisfy his sadistic impulse or his need for attention. Apparently he's like a petulant child, one that needs constant adulation and adoration and meekness from his subjects, but he serves nothing else but himself, and look how great he lives. And that's the observation made by Stirner. It's a very profound book, and it's gonna I like to take a break, and I want to be doing these sort of things just to kind of like unpack some of the crazy developments in this book. He even makes the case towards the end of what I was reading. It was like, you can't, making like that there is no distinction between an honest man and a scoundrel. An honest man, what is an honest man but listening to laws of another scoundrel? Listening to the untruths, to the truths whose untruths you got behind. And what is a criminal but someone who's going against the Constitution, the established Constitution made against his will, technically. So, it goes into very grave matters, but it's an amazing book. It talks about Nero and how people who opposed him, they didn't want to do anything against him because they wanted to be good Romans, but those supposedly good Romans who didn't want to go against their emperor, they didn't revolt when someone else came along and killed him. Shows you how the good people will never be able to perform revolutions. It's those who go beyond the grain, who actually break the laws, because they're the ones that are willing to be bad, for example, or willing to disregard these notions entirely. So, oh shit, man, I can't wait to go back and read some more. So, hope you all have a great time with your family. Hope you all made some gains. I made some gains early today because the gym opens tomorrow at 8, and I'm not dealing with that. So, love y'all. Hope y'all have a Merry Christmas. Make some beautiful gains and make some beautiful time with the family and stuff like that. So, until next time, guys. Peace.